Hello everyone, I am Dr. Hana Sasaki. Thank you for joining me today. If you have ever caught yourself pausing just a moment longer before rising from your favorite armchair, or if you have begun to reach for the car door or the banister a little sooner than you once did, I want you to hear this clearly and with compassion that hesitation is not an inevitable sentence handed down by age. It is a signal. A quiet, correctable signal that the powerful muscles of your legs have simply not been asked to work in the specific way they were designed to. And the good news, the truly hopeful news, is that we can change that starting today. In this conversation, I want to walk with you through something that has transformed the lives of so many of my patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. We are going to talk about leg strength, why it matters more than most people realize, and one single movement that serves as the cornerstone of functional independence. This is not about becoming a bodybuilder or spending hours in a gym. It is about reclaiming a motion you already do dozens of times every single day, but doing it with intention, control, and presence so that your body stays strong, steady, and capable for all the years ahead. I will also give you a simple way to check exactly where you stand right now, and I will share practical step-by-step guidance so you can begin improving immediately. Because here is what I have learned after years of practicing medicine. The difference between feeling fragile and feeling free often comes down to one well-chosen daily habit. Many of the wonderful people who come to see me start the visit the same way. Dr. Sasaki, they say, I just feel weaker than I used to. I feel wobbly on my feet. I avoid going out because I'm afraid I won't be able to get up from a chair without struggling. They say it with a mixture of embarrassment and resignation, as though this is simply what happens when you turn a certain age. But that assumption, while completely understandable, is not entirely accurate. Yes, our bodies do change with time, yet the rapid loss of leg strength that so many experience is less about the calendar and far more about the quiet, gradual shift in how we move through our days. Let me explain what is happening inside your body. We have a concept in medicine called functional reserve. Think of your leg muscles as a savings account you have been depositing into for decades. When you were younger, those deposits happened automatically. You climbed stairs without thinking, chased after children or grandchildren, carried bags of groceries, rose from the floor to answer the phone, walked the dog, gardened, danced at weddings. Your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and the deep stabilizing muscles of your core and hips were constantly being asked to produce force, to control descent, to stabilize your skeleton. Then life became more convenient. We sit for meals, sit in meetings, sit while watching our favorite programs. We choose the elevator. We let the car pull up as close as possible. We push ourselves up with our arms or use momentum to launch out of a chair instead of driving powerfully through our heels. Over months and years, those large, powerful muscles begin to receive fewer and fewer demands. They atrophy. They lose both size and, more importantly, power. This process has a name: sarcopenia. It is the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, and it accelerates after 60 if we do not deliberately counteract it. The consequences reach far beyond the obvious. Weak legs change how you walk, how you balance, how confidently you can step off a curb or stand in line at the grocery store. They affect your posture, your bone density, even the way your metabolism functions. Strong legs help regulate blood sugar, support your heart, and quite literally keep you upright in the world. When my patients regain this strength, they do not just stand up faster. They report sleeping better, feeling steadier on their feet, carrying groceries without fear, keeping up with grandchildren at the park, and most importantly, recovering their sense of dignity and autonomy. I want to share a few stories with you because these are not abstract concepts. They are real people whose lives shifted once they understood this principle. There was Margaret, a vibrant 72-year-old retired teacher who came to me after she had stopped accepting dinner invitations. She was mortified that she sometimes needed 2 attempts to get out of her friends' deep dining chairs. She worried people would think she was frail. We began with the simplest version of the movement I'm about to teach you. 8 weeks later, she sent me a photo of herself standing tall at her granddaughter's piano recital. The difference was not just physical. Her eyes were brighter. Her voice carried new energy. She told me, Dr. Sasaki, I didn't realize how much I had been shrinking my life to match my weakening legs. Then there was Robert, a 68-year-old engineer who had always prided himself on his independence. He could still walk long distances on flat ground, but the moment a chair lacked arms, he felt panic rise in his chest. His fear of falling had begun to steal the joy from his retirement. We measured his baseline, created a clear progression plan, and focused on controlled, intentional sit-to-stand movements. Within 12 weeks, he was rising from the lowest sofa in my waiting room without using his hands. More than that, he started hiking with his wife again, something he had written off as lost. These stories are repeated in my practice week after week. The common thread is that these patients did not need fancy equipment, expensive supplements, or extreme fitness regimens. They needed to rediscover the fundamental movement pattern that human bodies were built to perform. So let us talk about that movement. It is the sit to stand, sometimes called the chair squat. You might think, but doctor, I already stand up from chairs all day long. Why would I need to practice that? That is a very good question, and the answer makes all the difference. There is a world of difference between the way most of us casually stand up and the way we can stand up when we bring full attention and proper form to the motion. When we slump back into a chair and then pull ourselves forward using the armrests or momentum, we bypass the very muscles we need to keep strong. We let our upper body do the work. We let gravity handle the descent. Over time, this creates a habit of disuse. The intentional sit to stand changes that. It teaches your legs to both lift you powerfully and, even more importantly, to control your descent with strength and stability. That eccentric control, the ability to lower yourself slowly and deliberately, is where so much of the magic happens for older adults. It builds resilience in the muscles and tendons, improves balance, and directly translates to confidence in everyday movements. This exact pattern is one of the most studied movements in geriatrics. It forms the heart of the senior fitness test, a standardized assessment used by clinicians worldwide to measure functional strength. The test is simple. See how many fully controlled sit-to-stands you can complete in 30 seconds. The numbers are quite revealing. For women between 60 and 64, 10 to 15 repetitions is considered average. By 80 to 84, that average drops. But the beautiful part is how much we can improve those numbers at any age when we train specifically. Now, I would like to guide you through exactly how to do this with proper form so you receive the maximum benefit and protect your joints at the same time. First, choose a sturdy chair, preferably one without wheels. Place it against a wall so it cannot slide. Wear comfortable shoes with a slight heel if possible. Sit toward the front edge of the seat with your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Your knees should be bent at roughly a 90-degree angle. If your chair is too low and this feels difficult at the beginning, that is perfectly all right. We will talk about modifications in a moment. Here is where intention begins. Take a gentle breath in. As you breathe out, lean your chest slightly forward so your nose travels over your toes. This shifts your center of gravity forward in a safe way. Now drive through your heels. Feel the pressure in your heels, not the balls of your feet. Push the ground away. As you come to a full standing position, your hips should come fully forward so you're tall and balanced. Keep your gaze straight ahead, not down at the floor. The return journey is equally important. Many people drop back into the chair. Instead, I want you to hinge at your hips and lower yourself with control. Imagine you are gently closing a door with your backside. Take 3 full seconds to sit if you can. That slow descent is where tremendous strength is built. It teaches your muscles to act as brakes, which is exactly what prevents falls in real life. If at first you need to use your hands on your thighs or the armrests, please do so without any shame. That is your starting point. The goal is not perfection on day one. The goal is consistent, thoughtful practice. Each week you will likely find you need your hands a little less. That progress is something to celebrate. Let me give you a clear roadmap for progression, because I want you to feel successful at every stage. Level 1 is the assisted sit to stand. Use your hands for support. Focus on even weight distribution between both legs. Perform 5 to 8 repetitions with perfect control. Level 2 removes the hands. You may still sit toward the front of the chair and use a higher seat if needed. Aim for 8 to 12 controlled repetitions. Level 3 adds the slow descent. Take 3 full seconds to lower yourself. This dramatically increases the time your muscles are under tension and produces excellent results. Level 4 uses a lower seat or adds a pause at the bottom for 1 full second before rising. Only move to this when the previous levels feel solid. For those who want to continue advancing, we can explore single leg variations or adding light hand weights, but only after months of consistent practice and only if your balance and joint health allow. The majority of my patients see life-changing improvements by simply mastering the first 3 levels. I recommend practicing this 2 to 3 times per week. That is all. 5 to 10 minutes is enough. You can do it while watching the evening news or after your morning coffee. The beauty is that you do not need to leave your home. Consistency, as I often tell my patients, beats intensity every single time. Your muscles do not need heroic effort. They need regular, respectful challenge. Now let us talk about what you can realistically expect. Most people notice improved ease getting out of the car within 3 to 4 weeks. By 8 weeks, they report better balance on stairs and less hesitation when standing from restaurant chairs. By 12 weeks, many describe an entirely new sense of confidence in their bodies. They stand taller, their walks feel lighter, their fear of falling quietly recedes. This movement does more than strengthen your legs. Because the legs contain the largest muscle groups in the body, training them sends beneficial signals throughout your entire system. Improved leg strength is associated with better insulin sensitivity, stronger bones, enhanced circulation, and even improved mood. Many of my patients tell me they simply feel more hopeful once they experience what their bodies can still do. I also want to speak directly to some of the concerns I hear often. I have bad knees, doctor. This is common. The key is proper alignment. When you keep your knees tracking over your ankles and avoid letting them collapse inward, most people with mild to moderate arthritis can perform this movement safely. If you have significant pain, begin with a higher seat and consult your own physician. The controlled nature of this exercise is often far gentler than people expect. I'm too old for this. I respectfully disagree. I have patients in their mid-80s who have doubled their 30-second sit-to-stand score. Your muscle tissue remains responsive to stimulus throughout your entire life. The nervous system can still learn new patterns. The body wants to adapt. It is waiting for the right signal. What if I live alone and I'm nervous about falling? That is wise caution. Begin next to a stable surface. Have a phone nearby if it helps you feel secure. The beauty of this movement is that you can make it extremely safe while still receiving benefit. I also want to offer a few practical companions to this exercise that enhance results without complicating your life. Stay well hydrated. Make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet. Even adding a handful of nuts, Greek yogurt, or eggs to your daily meals can support muscle repair. Gentle walking or standing balance practice on other days complements the sit to stand beautifully. But please do not feel you must do everything at once. Start with this one movement, master it. Let the confidence you gain naturally lead you to other healthy habits. One of the most rewarding parts of my work is watching patients rediscover their own capability. When someone who once avoided eye contact while struggling to stand suddenly rises smoothly and smiles with genuine pride, I am reminded why I chose this path. It is not about chasing youth. It is about preserving dignity, freedom, and the ability to participate fully in the moments that matter most. Playing with grandchildren, traveling with friends, dancing at family weddings, or simply standing at the kitchen counter to prepare a meal without fatigue. These are the real measures of health as we grow older. Not how much we can bench press, but whether we can stand up from a picnic blanket without assistance. Whether we can step confidently off a bus, whether we can remain in our own homes, rather than moving to a facility because of frailty. The sit-to-stand movement directly supports all of these goals. So here is my gentle challenge to you. Right now, if it is safe, pause this video and try a few sit-to-stands with good form. Count how many you can do in 30 seconds while maintaining control. Write that number down. It is not a judgment. It is simply data. It is your baseline. In 8 weeks, I would love for you to try again and see the difference. Many people improve by 4, 6, even 10 repetitions. That progress is real and measurable. If you're watching this with a spouse or friend, consider doing it together. There is something powerful about shared purpose. You can encourage one another on days when motivation feels low. I read every comment on these videos, and I am continually moved by the stories you share. If you decide to begin this practice today, please let me know in the comments how many sit-to-stands you completed on your first attempt. Tell me your age if you feel comfortable. Watch how many others respond with support and their own numbers. You will quickly see that you are far from alone. This is a community of people who refuse to let their later years be defined by decline. We choose to age with strength, curiosity, and grace. Before we finish, I want to leave you with this thought. Your body has carried you through every joy and challenge of your life so far. It has walked you down the aisle, stood beside hospital beds holding newborn grandchildren, danced at celebrations, and kept going even when you were exhausted. That same body is still listening. It is still capable of remarkable adaptation. The question is not whether you are too old or too weak. The question is whether you are willing to give your legs the specific, respectful challenge they need to remain strong. I believe you are. Thank you for spending this time with me. I know there are countless videos competing for your attention, so I am truly grateful you chose to learn about this fundamental movement. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone you care about. Perhaps a sibling, a neighbor, or a friend who has mentioned feeling unsteady. Small acts of sharing like this create ripples of better health in our communities. Remember, your independence, your confidence, and your joy in daily movement are built one intentional stand at a time. It does not require perfection. It requires consistency and the quiet belief that your body is still on your team. I will be right here for our next conversation. Until then, be gentle with yourself, stand with presence, and trust that small, regular actions truly do create profound change. This is Dr. Hana Sasaki wishing you strength, steadiness, and many more years of moving through life on your own powerful terms. Take good care, my friends. I will see you in the next video.